My girlfriend had a meltdown and fell asleep on my couch. I am not the op. Original post is by you, Adwest7 in R, off my chest. TW. Mental illness. Self-harm. References to suicide. Physical violence. Alcohol plus drug abuse. Less than. Mood spoiler. Very sad. Less than. // Original, May 9th, 2023. My girlfriend had a meltdown and fell asleep on my couch. Last night my 25M girlfriend, 27F, came over to drop off a package that was sent to her house instead of mine. She's been struggling with depression recently, and for the last 2 weeks she has not been acting herself at all. It seemed like she had not slept in days and her usual high-energy self was not there. I asked her if she was okay numerous times, but she kept pushing me away and gave one sentence answers about how she is fine and I didn't need to worry. I know she has a history with suicide, but that was when she was a teenager and she has not thought of taking her life since she was 16. When she came over she was in really bad shape. Her hair was messy and there were bags under her eyes. There were some cuts on her arm that looked like self-harm and one of them was bleeding. Her voice was groggy and she was extremely quiet. She came into my apartment, put the package on the kitchen counter, said goodbye, and tried to leave immediately. She thanked me for being a good boyfriend, which caught my attention. I felt a sense of doom, so I stepped in front of the door and told her to stay for the night. She told me to move, but I said she was not in a good condition to drive and something bad might happen. Suddenly she hit me in the chest and said she wants something bad to happen. She broke down in tears and cried about how stressed out and unappreciated she felt. She talked about how she was the perfect student and went to Berkeley like her parents wanted and became a nurse, but they never showed any support for her career. She gets pushed aside and hates how all the attention goes to her sister and she feels unnoticed. She cried about how stressful work has been and how understaffed her hospital is. She had not slept for 37 hours and tried to go to bed a couple hours earlier but couldn't fall asleep. She hates her body and how much she struggles with maintaining her weight. I picked her up and brought her to the couch and she continued crying and told me she thought about crashing her car multiple times on the way to my apartment and I would be better off with her being dead. She finished off by saying she doesn't feel human and how difficult it is to get out of bed, then fell asleep in the middle of crying. That all happened in a span of about 10 minutes. I laid her down on the couch and put a pillow under her head. I stopped the bleeding on her arm and put some bandages on the wound after I cleaned it. I put a blanket over her and stroked her hair for a while. I started crying watching her sleep. I knew she was going through a rough time, but I did not know how bad it was. I got a blanket and pillow and slept in front of the couch in case she woke up. It's 10 a.m. right now and she's still sleeping. She's been asleep for 14 hours and has not moved. I don't know what condition she's going to be in when she wakes up, but I hope she is calm and open to talk about getting help. Edit. Thank you for the replies. She woke up a couple hours ago after sleeping for 16 hours and she explained everything. She was at work 2 days ago and an elderly patient yelled at her and shoved her. She reached her breaking point and when she got home she threw out her antidepressants. She gets a refill on Thursday and went into a manic episode. She went to work yesterday without sleep but walked out an hour into her shift and relapsed into self-harming. She decided she was going to drive into a tree but wanted to see me one last time, so she dropped off the package to do so. Thankfully I saw the signs and stopped her and she had her breakdown. She asked if she could stay with me for a couple of days, so we drove to her apartment to get some things and she played music and sang her heart out. She wanted Wingstop, so I stopped to order her something and she ran to a grocery store nearby while I was in line and got her favorite ice cream. We drove back to my apartment and ate, and she is currently taking a shower. When she gets out and dries off, I'm going to sit down with her and talk about what she wants to do. Regarding her job, I think she's going to quit TBH. I saw a comment asking me to call out for her, but I think she's going to call out entirely. She seems burnt out. I'm also going to bring up idea of her talking to a therapist again. Thank you for listening to my ramble lol. Your support means a lot to me. // Update, May 13th, 2023. My girlfriend showed up to my work drunk and high. A couple days ago I posted about how my girlfriend was in the middle of a mental crisis and fell asleep on my couch for half the day. She took a mental health leave from her job and found a therapist this morning who she says will begin to see her next week. She got her medication refills on Thursday and has been trying to relax, but when I came home later that day she was not there. I texted her and she said she was out with friends and would be back soon. She came back a couple hours later with a brown bag but did not tell me what it was. She went into my bedroom to hide it and told me not to open it. I was a little concerned but decided not to push it. It turns out she was hiding cocaine in the bag. I am a firefighter and I worked today and the next 2 days, and tonight she showed up at my station. Drunk and high out of her mind. She knocked on the door and my lieutenant opened it and I immediately recognized her drunk voice. She stumbled in asking where I was and started crying when she saw me. My lieutenant told me to take her home, so I guided her to the car and drove her back to my apartment. She started yelling about her job out of nowhere, then fell asleep. When I reached my apartment, I carried her up the stairs and sat her down on the couch. There were wine bottles and a line of cocaine on my kitchen counter. I called the station and said I would be back in an hour and cleaned up the kitchen and made sure she was not at risk of overdosing. I have never been more mad in my life. I am okay with alcohol in my apartment, but any kind of drugs is unacceptable. My father was a drug addict, so drugs are forbidden from my apartment and my girlfriend knows this. I am upset about that, but showing up inebriated and high at my job in front of my coworkers is even more unacceptable. I have been trying my hardest to put myself in a position to move up a rank, and now I am the guy who had to drive his drunk girlfriend home. How did she even get to the station in the first place? I hope it was an Uber or something. I love my girlfriend with all my heart, but she needs to find serious professional help. I have been able to weather her manic episodes, but this incident is something I am not going to be able to let go quickly. I know she has mental health problems and it's something I have to accept to be with her, but she is not taking her health seriously and it's affecting her life, and it's starting to affect my life. She said she was going to admit herself to a psychiatric hospital on Thursday, but it's Saturday morning and she's in my apartment passed out on my couch. I love my girlfriend. I really do. The past 4 years with her have been amazing, but she keeps getting worse and it's getting harder to help her. I watched my mother ruin her life trying to fix my father, and I don't want to end up on the same path as her. At some point I have to draw a line. Update. She took herself to the hospital and admitted herself. She sent me a picture of the sign-in sheet and apologized for her behavior. I don't feel anything at this point. I get a break from her for a while, so that's nice. I might break up with her. // Note. Marked as ongoing since it's definitely not concluded. But OOP didn't indicate that they plan to update again, so I'm not sure if we'll get another one. I hope he ends up okay, and that his girlfriend gets the help she needs. Reminder: I am not the original poster. Don't forget that commenting on the original posts is not allowed. Sadly, we can't be substitutes for a therapist or meds or needed interventions. Hope OOP knows that he can't love her into being better. She has to put in the work, and she has to do it for herself. Hope the hospital stay gives her some time and some relief to be able to get a bit more stable. This was a rough read. Yikes. That escalated quickly. It went from, my GF's having a breakdown and I'm comforting her, to, my GF's breaking my biggest boundary. Snorting coke in my house and causing drama at my workplace, really quick. I hope he makes the best choice for his mental health. I wonder if she did break his big boundary on purpose. So he stops caring for her and it will be easier to end the life. This is just sad. She's going through a mental health crisis and making realty bad choices. And Oop is doing everything he can to help. But there's only so much you can do. Oop is a firefighter. He already has a stressful and emotionally demanding job. It's a hard thing to have to deal with this sort of thing at home as well. I only hope that he doesn't end up regretting whatever choice he makes. Wow, this is so sad. I really feel awful for OOP's GF mental health breakdown. At the same time, I can't imagine how difficult this must be for Oop. Especially the work and drugs part. It's already hard enough helping with this privately. But I couldn't imagine my partner going to my workplace high and breaking down like that. I'm glad OOP's GF was able to admit herself and I hope she can get some proper long-lasting treatment. But I understand if Oop cannot remain in the relationship. I honestly can't even begin to imagine what to do if my partner was in that kind of situation. Feel sorry for the poor bloke. Hopefully he can help his girlfriend sort through her issues. That's such a brutal situation to be in for her. And for him as well. On the one hand, she's gone through an incredibly rough time and is clearly suffering and needing help. But on the other hand, Oop can't become a full-time live-in carer for her and she's actively sabotaging his life. I'd hate to be put in the decision to choose whether to pull back or not. But I can't blame him if he decides that's for the best. God. I feel so bad for both of them. GF saying, wanting something bad to happen, hit me so hard. Reminded me of when I was in a bad spot. I wish all the best for them. Poorly treated bipolar disorder is awful. Poorly treated bipolar disorder with irregular schedules and a high-stress environment is a disaster. Thank goodness Oop's girlfriend got into hospital when she did. I'm afraid we're going to get one more update, and it won't be a pleasant one. I hope things work out. But between her mental health problems and her substance abuse, it's going to be a long, hard road to real recovery. I don't know if she has depression or bipolar, or what, but she's obviously self-medicating to try to fix her problems. This is a tough cycle to break. It can be done, but often, it takes multiple attempts and relapses. She may also need to go into inpatient rehab for a month. I wish you both Luke. I think Oop needs to break up with her. She needs major help. And he is against drugs. She brought drugs into his home. Behind his back. That is a deal breaker in itself. What an awful situation. I hope everything works out. Whether that means they stay together or not is up to them. I hope she gets the help she needs and never throws out her meds ever again. I think you are right to break up with her. Not in a callous way. But BC, not everyone is equipped to deal with these serious issues. Depression, self-harm, suicidal thoughts, drugs, alcohol. Leave her to straighten out her life. Let her get the help she needs from doctors, therapists, co-workers and family. This is such a tough situation for Oop. He can only help so much. But with the boundary stomping and the spiraling, his, possibly future ex, GF needs more help than he can provide. I hope the psychiatric hospital will be able to help her. sounds like she was desperately self-medicating and not caring in the moment that her drug of choice crossed a huge clear boundary for Oop. Inpatient is the right place for her now so she can get the help she needs. While I hope for the best for the girlfriend, I think I would sympathize with Oop if he broke up with her. It's absolutely exhausting dealing with someone with mental health issues, especially when they are spiraling. And in the end the partner can get so burnt out and depressed themselves. This is not like a patient with an inflamed appendix where you operate and fix them, or someone with pneumonia who just needs antibiotics for a few days. Mental illness has no cure, and the best you can hope for are long remissions. I wish them both the best. But she keeps getting worse and it's getting harder to help her. I watched my mother ruin her life trying to fix my father, and I don't want to end up on the same path as her. At some point I have to draw a line. You get the sad sinking feeling it's not going to get better for the GF for a long time, if at all. I hate this for both of them. I'm really hoping for a happy update, crossed fingers. Light skin tone. Everyone loses in this situation. Hopefully OP's girlfriend gets the support she needs to contact her employer and go through the proper channels for getting a stress leave and rehab. Having a mental health break should not result in losing her job. I did, however, see the drug use coming a mile away when the GF said she hadn't slept.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.